Thought leaders earn their money from their ideas, and it follows that their most important activity is creating content to attract and keep their clients. But what IP should they create? How should they create it? And where should they share it? The Content Creation Canvas answers these crucial questions. Most people, when they talk about content creation, are talking about content marketing. But for thought leaders, more importantly, they need to be talking about IP creation. The Content Creation Canvas is unique because it combines both your IP creation and your content marketing. In this video, I'll share the 7 strategic questions you need to ask to have a united content creation strategy. The first pair of elements on the Content Creation Canvas define our objectives. Would you tell me, please, which way I ought to go from here? That depends a good deal on where you want to get to, said the cat. I don't care much where, said Alice. Then it doesn't matter which way you go, said the cat. The Content Creation Canvas is a strategy template. And to define strategy, you first need to define where you want to go. It's what before how. In thought leadership strategy, I pointed to the 3 essential things every thought leader needs to build. And that comes back to building capital. They need to build money or financial capital, ideas and intellectual capital, and people or social capital. And it follows that your strategy should include a goal around each of these 3 elements. And then, rather than having 3 separate goals to pursue, the ideal strategy is to have a hyperfocus where you line them up such that pursuing one goal achieves the next goal and the next one. This will give you your greatest results from your efforts. For more on this, you can watch the video Thought Leadership Strategy. Many beginner and seasoned pros in the area of marketing fall for the same basic mistake. They focus on what they have to offer and not on what the client wants. This means you either finish up trying to sell something that your clients don't want, or worse, you sell them something but they actually can't hear your marketing message. You're effectively invisible. This is one reason why so many people create so much content that produces so little results. Have you heard of Scrum? No, not that Scrum. In Scrum or Agile software development, they use a simple product story based on 3 parts that describes exactly what their clients want. And you can use this to create your content. The formula is, as an X, I want Y, so I can Z. As an X defines who our client or customer is. I want to Y tells us what result the client wants to achieve. And so I can Z tells us what our client's motivation is. In other words, it's who, what, and why. For more on this, check out the video Know Your Client's Thoughts. The second pair of elements on our Content Creation Canvas defines our thought leadership view of the world. These are your content pillars where you focus on the shifts that you want your clients to make when you work with them. What's the most important skill a thought leader should develop? Thought leaders earn their money from ideas. And the purpose of ideas is to generate action. And there are 2 levels at which we can do this. The first is the obvious one. It's the action itself, the moves or the steps we make. The second one's more important. It's the context that tells us what action to take in the first place. When we shift the context, we shift what is possible. And that's the role of a thought leader, to share ideas that shift what's possible. That's why context shifting is the #1 skill a thought leader should develop. And it's the key to your content creation. You shift the context by defining 2 things. First of all, what is the current context people are operating from? And then what's a better one? What's a better context to be operating from? In Joseph Campbell's Hero's Journey, he talked about this as the ordinary world and the special world. It's the shift from where you are right now with your current problem to the special world where you have your problem solved and you've been transformed along the way. For more on this, consider the video, The Most Important Thought Leadership Skill to Develop. What does the word manifesto make you think about? You might think of Marx and Engels, who wrote the Communist Manifesto, or perhaps a person who wants to change the world. In some parts of the world, it might mean an election is coming. In the art world, it usually means a revolution is coming. For me, it's the ultimate thought leadership tool. By definition, a manifesto is a declaration of your intention. It's what you want to have happen. On the content creation canvas, it's your solution. And ideally, it has three parts. Firstly, it has some reference to the current solution that people are using and why it's not sufficient or not enough. Second is your description of how the world could be when the problem is solved. And third is the set of rules or principles or steps for getting there. Your manifesto in this format then becomes the foundation for your content pillars, which forms the key topics of your content. Next, on the content creation canvas, we want to focus on the specific things that are going to attract and keep your clients. And as you can see in this diagram, it's central to this whole strategy. Most marketers focus on the wrong thing. They're too busy trying to attract new clients when studies show that it's 5 to 25 times cheaper to focus on retaining your existing clients. This is even worse for solo operators. They're either busy promoting themselves to attract new clients, or they've got their head buried in client work trying to satisfy their existing ones. This means they inevitably get caught up in the boom-bust cycle of business. One minute they have lots of clients, next minute they have none. Then they have lots of clients, and so forth. And this is the great flaw for most people around their content creation, and in particular their content marketing. They create one set of content to attract new clients and a whole other set to serve their existing clients. That's twice the work. However, there is an easy solution. Merge the two. I've called this your capital content because it's your top or primary content. It's one set of content that attracts new clients and serves your existing clients at the same time. You can find out more about this in the video Capital Content, a daring content creation idea to double your results. Finally, we have the pair of elements on the content creation canvas that will define your specific actions. When you build a house, you always start by laying the foundations, and then you can build from the ground up. The roof always goes on last. But most people do something strange with their content creation. It's like they want to start by putting the roof on. We're now at step 6 of 7 steps, but this is where most people start. They want to know if they should be on LinkedIn or YouTube or Facebook or TikTok. They think if they answer that question, it'll solve all their other issues. But I think all this achieves is that it puts you out there in direct competition with everybody else who's yelling and screaming and crying out for attention. Look at me, look at me, look at me, look at me. It's like being at a party or at a rock concert where you're yelling really loudly just to be heard. Is it any wonder they don't get the results they expect? I think there is a better way. The Content Kick addresses this by suggesting that creating exclusive content and personalized content for your existing clients is a more powerful strategy. It's better because it's cheaper to keep an existing client than attract a new one, plus you're not out there competing with everybody else. You also want to pair this with your signature style of content. Most people don't stand out on social media and in their content marketing because they're doing the same thing as everybody else. And that's simply not going to work. Check out the video, the best types of thought leadership content to create. And in specific, you'll want to answer these 3 questions. What content to create, how to create it, and where to share it. I used to be an architect, and the way architects work is that they spend all their time designing the entire building before it's even built, right down to all the individual nuts and bolts in the details. Then, once the building is designed, they hand it over to the builder who builds it. And as you might expect with this background, I'm really good at planning. But I'm not so good naturally at finishing things or executing or building them. I wrote about this in my book, Done. Having a great plan is a great place to start, but I don't think it's enough because most plans only tell you what to do. They don't tell you how to do it. For example, if you're writing a book, a really good plan might be as simple as saying, I need to write 2 hours every single day. Sounds easy, doesn't it? But how are you actually going to do that? Do you have time allocated in your diary for this? Do you have a quiet space to do the work in? And how are you going to stay motivated over 3 or 6 months to make that work? Yes, you will need to write down the actions you need to take, but more importantly, I think you need to write down the behaviours you need so that you take the right action at the right time. Let's wrap up what we've covered here. The content creation canvas helps you define your thought leadership content strategy. And it's unique because it allows you to unite both your IP creation and your content marketing into a single one-page strategy document. And the 7 questions you need to answer are: what do you want? What do your clients want? What is the context? What is your solution? How can you attract and keep your clients? What will be your output? And what behaviours will create this? If you want more details and examples around this, check out the blog link in the description below. And if you want some coaching to develop your content creation canvas, then head over to geoffmcdonald.com. That's it. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye!